بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome again to another session where we are looking at the correct pronunciation of the letters. Inshallah, today we will be looking at two letters again. So we will be looking at the letter Mim and the letter Noon. Why these letters together? Because they have a quality known as a gunna, which they both share. They both have very different makharij. They have different articulation points. So let's talk about the meme first. The meme is a letter that uses both of the lips. And if you remember, going back to when we were looking at the letter fa or the letter ba, we talked about the part of the lips that shows on the outside, or what we call the dry part of the lips, and then you have the inner part, which is known as the wet part of the lips. For the letter meme, when we pronounce it, both lips come together, but we do not use the outer part of the lips. In other words, when we pronounce this letter, the lips, we shouldn't see that our lips are disappearing into our mouth. Okay, for example. So we don't say if I bring up the letter with the fatha as an example, when we say ma, we do not say ma where our lips have disappeared. So when we say the first part, if we look at ourselves in the mirror, the lips should not disappear. They should still be visible on the outside. When we say ma, when we say it with a dhamma, again, the circling of the lips, mu, ma, mu. Okay. And finally, we have the one with the kasra, ma, mu, mi. Ma, mu, mi. When this letter has a sukun and it is joined to the letter before it, we say So you'll notice again that your lips come together. Again, there's no disappearing of the lips on the inside. We don't press really, really hard. But what you'll find is because the lips are closed when we say and we're trying to pronounce this letter, but actually what we're doing is we're blocking the path of the sound of the voice. So the sound of the voice is trying to come out, but there's no exit for it, okay, because the mouth is closed. So what happens as a result is the sound of your voice then has to pass through the nasal cavity. And this is what we call gunna in Arabic. So when you say even though my lips are closed, you can still hear me pronouncing that letter because the sound is going through the nasal cavity. Okay, when we say now let's compare that to the noon. The noon, the correct makhraj of the noon is the tip of the tongue. So we're back to tip of the tongue letters again. So we use the tip of the tongue, and the tip of the tongue touches behind the upper two incisors. Okay, so it is where the gums meet the upper teeth, the incisors, or the roots of the teeth. So for those of you that can't see, this is the top door. You're trying to go to this part where the gums just meet the teeth. So it's very close to the teeth, but it's not actually on the teeth. It's on the gums that are the closest to the roots of the teeth. Okay. The tip of the tongue touches here, and with a fatha, we read this as na, na, nu, ni, na, nu, ni. So we have the same movements that we've discussed many times. They're both considered light letters. So with the fatha, we say ma and we say na. We're not saying ma or na. Mu and nu, still the circling of the lips. Mi and ni, still making sure that we have the sharp kasra sound or the e sound. With the noon, again, when it has a sukoon on it, and we are joining it with the letter before, again, what's happening is when you hold the makhraj, when your tongue goes to the makhraj or the articulation point and stays there, and you say an, then what's happening again is the tip of the tongue, because it's staying up, right? Again, you're blocking the pass, and the sound of the voice cannot pass through an exit between the lips. So instead, again, the sound has to go through the nasal cavity. So again, we have the associated gunna with this letter when we say an. So you'll notice that both of these letters, I didn't cut them short. I didn't say and not like that, and I didn't prolong them like Rahawa letters. So just like the lam that we saw in our previous session yesterday, the meme and the noon are also the wassut letters. They are letters that when they have a sukoon on them, we stay on them it's called like the middle time, not too short, not too long, enough time to establish the letter and make it clear that it is heard. And Let's have a look at some examples. So one really obvious example is the one that we see in Surah Al-Fatiha. And here you can see that we have both a noon sakin and we have a mim sakin. So in the same word, we've got an example of both. So because they are both tawassut letters, we stay on both of them the same amount of time, which is not too long and not too short. So we say an-amta, an-amta, an'amta. Okay, so we're not saying an-amta. We don't stop after each of those letters. We also don't bounce them. We don't say ana amata, right? There's no ana amata. It's just an, hold the makhraj, move on to the next letter. An'amta. Okay, an'amta. Another example is where you can see in the word al-alamina, which is again taken from Surah Al-Fatiha. You have the meme with the kasra and the noon with a fatha. So here we say al-alamina, mina. So remember the me, the lips aren't disappearing. When we say na, the nice light sound of the fatha. Al-alamina. And then finally, we have another example where we have the meme with a sukoon. And we also have a noon mushaddad here at the end with a fatha. How do we say this? La just how we said an'am, we held it. Same thing again. La 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 anna, la anna. Again, be careful. We don't want to bounce the meme and say la amala. We're saying la hold it, move smoothly onto the lam. لأملأن. Okay, Jazakumullahu khairan. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Please do follow the practice link in the YouTube description. Jazakumullahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.